of guys posting videos on YouTube about how they got out of the automotive technician space and all the reasons why. And they always caption the video with something like, why I quit the industry, why I quit being a mechanic, yada yada yada. So my question is it still, I guess, not my question, but what I'll be addressing today is the question, is it still worth it to be an automotive technician in 2025? And right off the bat, I'll say I love my job and I love what I do. If I wasn't doing this, I don't know. I have no idea what I would want to do, to be honest. I always want to work on cars to some capacity. So right off the bat, I guess you could say maybe I'm a little biased, because I do think it's still worth getting into the industry in 2025. Pay is better than it's ever been before. The training is, there's training available to everyone. Like even the aftermarket shops have access to good training now. Yes, tools are a little more expensive than say a carpenter's or a plumber or an electrician, and you have to have way more of them. So it's not uncommon to see a technician with a $20,000 toolbox and about 60 to 80 grand worth of tools in it, especially if they've been in the trade for more than a decade or two. I'm not quite at that level yet, and luckily I have a built-in toolbox at work, so I don't have to worry about buying my own toolbox. But I still have a significant amount of money invested in my tools, and if I were just looking to make money with my hands, I might pick a different trade. So I think the industry is good to get into if you have the passion for cars still. A lot of people do it just as a job to pay the bills. I have a huge passion for it, obviously. All I can think about or talk about are cars and bikes, it seems. If you're looking to get into the trades, you're in high school or just looking for a switch up, maybe you took a year, a gap year or something, and you're just exploring your options, don't get into this trade if you don't love cars, because you will very quickly not enjoy it. And then you also could get into the trade and think you don't like it based on the shop or the brand that you're working for. And so sometimes you might want to switch it up a little bit, see what's out there. I know I did that pretty early into my career. I just went through my apprenticeship program and wrote my certificate of qualifications test, got my red seal, and I was miserable. I thought everything was going wrong because of somebody else. Like the shop is disorganized, the jobs are not dealt out fairly, on and on and on. I had a million excuses as to why I wasn't making any hours. So I left. I went to a heavy truck shop that I didn't really enjoy, but it was hourly, so my paycheck didn't fluctuate, which really helped me learn a lot without the stress of having to flag hours. But I got tired of the work really quickly. So about 9 months into that, I decided I wanted to go back into a dealership. So I interviewed at a couple of different places. I interviewed at a used car lot. I'm not going to say which one. I decided that it'd be a bad fit for me personally. And then I interviewed at a Chevrolet dealer and a Chrysler dealer. And I had an offer from the Chrysler dealer, and then the Chevrolet dealer interviewed me, and they asked me what it would take to get me to switch over. And so I shot a little high, and they said, yeah, we can't quite make that work. You may get there in a year or two. So I took the Chrysler job, knowing that I had that in the bag if I needed it. But I figured it couldn't hurt to try and... Oh, what? Beaver! Distraction. That's better than a squirrel though, right? Anyway. Where was I? Oh yes. So I went to the Chrysler dealer, and I hated that so much. It was the worst job I had in the industry, without a doubt. Part of it was the product, part of it was the store just didn't have a lot of work coming in aside from oil changes, and I was expected to have an oil change in the shop, on the hoist, drained, refilled, filter changed, and inspection done in 0.3 of an hour. 0.3 of an hour is barely enough time to get the car on the lift and start draining the oil, in my opinion. And then, especially if you want to be a thorough technician, there's no time. And I was held to that. Oh. Wow, he almost went off the road. So I was held to that standard, and I was told straight to my face from the owner of the dealership that I was the most expensive technician he'd ever had, because I wasn't producing anything. Which makes sense to me anyway. Like, I didn't feel like there was even a possibility to make time there. And I was paid hourly, so it didn't matter as much to my bottom line, but I was held to that standard by the owner. And that made me really question even getting out of the trade entirely. But I didn't. One day I was like, man, I'd be better off going back to the VW store I was at. At least there, I felt accomplished. I wasn't just sweeping the floors. I was actually working on cars, doing what I wanted to do in this trade. So I went back to the Volkswagen and asked for my job back, and they were very gracious and said absolutely. So I gave my 2 weeks notice, and that, I think, was the best thing I could have ever done for my career. The moving on, wrong gear. Moving on and seeing what else was out there really helped me appreciate what I had. And that was going back to that dealership. I was extremely happy. I enjoyed going to work every day. I looked forward to it. I honestly, like, Friday at 5, I'm looking forward to Monday at 8 a lot of the times, which is a feeling that I'd never experienced in my entire life working. Oh, look at this. Death all over the road. Good thing it's not on a corner. So yeah, you might need to try other things. Try different brands, try different shops. If you get into the trade and don't like it right away, that's okay. Not everybody's built for Chrysler, not everybody's built for Honda. Excuse me. Oh, that was weird. I just covered my mouth even though I'm in my helmet. Yeah, so not every dealership or brand is right for every tech. It's by design, I think. where do I want to go with this? Well, I just want to encourage anybody that's thinking about this, give it a shot, especially if you love cars. Maybe you're in like a dealership already doing like lot maintenance or detailing. That's where I started out. That's how I got into the industry. It's a great place to start. Give it a shot. Or if you're on the fence and you're like, yeah, I really don't care about cars, I heard it pays well enough, it's probably not for you. There's a lot to know. We had an instructor in trade school that always said automotive technicians have to know a little bit of everything. You gotta understand electrical, you gotta understand fluid dynamics, you gotta understand all these different automotive systems. And a plumber has to know stuff flows downhill, make sure there's no leaks. Yes, that's reductionist. Excuse my 85-year-old man cough. But you really can make money in the trades a lot more simply if that's all you're looking for. If you stuck around this long for my ramblings, I want to thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button if you found value, don't hit the like button if you didn't find value, and hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more of my rants on my ride home from work. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one.